What is up guys, Slump here, and today I'm going to be giving you my 2017 season preview for the team I probably hate the most in the NFL, but as you know, I am unbiased while making the predictions, the Oakland Raiders. Now, the Raiders didn't do too much this offseason, but they definitely got better. Even if they didn't add anybody, they still are a better team this year than they were last. There is something called chemistry, and this team has built it even more. Not only did they build more chemistry, but this team's morale is through the roof, man. These guys think they're untouchable right now, and that's just going to help this team come the regular season. This offseason wasn't as spectacular as the 2016 offseason, as I stated. With the addition of beast mode and just losing Malik Watson, in all honesty, this team is looking better than ever. So yeah guys, this is my 2017 season preview for the Oakland Raiders. The perfect definition for last season was bittersweet. Raider Nation was so pumped because the Raiders finally got to the playoffs. They finally had an MVP candidate at the helm in Derek Carr. Jack Del Rio and Derek Carr are the best hype men a team can have. Those two guys gave this team an identity, and honestly man, if Derek Carr wasn't a great motivator, you'd see poorer offensive line play. Instead, obviously, Kalichi Smelly, Donald Penn, those two guys stepped up. Rodney Hudson was fantastic per usual. The offensive line was just unstoppable last year. Honestly, the Raiders offensive line is a top 10 offensive line in the NFL, top 5 pass blocking line in the NFL. With Marshawn Lynch, hopefully what am I talking about? Screw this. Hopefully he fails, but that's not likely, okay? The Raiders lost Latavius Murray in the offseason. He went to the Minnesota Vikings. Behind that offensive line, man, you guys ended his career. Y'all really ended his career. If Jack Del Rio gave him more snaps, he probably wouldn't have to play behind that offensive line, and he'd probably have his head intact, but not anymore. He's a goner. But the reason why I said that, you guys ended his career was because Jack Del Rio likes to run this 3 running back scheme, this 4 running back scheme, where he gets a ton of guys involved. Yes, Latavius Murray was the feature back last season, but was he utilized as much as he should have been? No. He cost my fantasy team some games last year, Jack Del Rio, for that. But listen, Marshawn Lynch is going to be in the exact same type of scheme. He won't be getting upwards of 250 plus carries this upcoming season. I see him capping out about 800 rushing yards, about 10 touchdowns. He's still going to be utilized at the goal line. But listen, if Jack Del Rio plays his cards right, Marshawn Lynch will be completely healthy for the playoffs. Now, Marshawn Lynch obviously has the experience in the playoffs. He has more experience than Latavius Murray ever will. So honestly, this was an upgrade, but still do not count on the run game to just become phenomenal, okay? Don't expect this to be a Tennessee Titans run game. Don't expect it to also have the same impact that the New Orleans Saints will have with Adrian Peterson, Mark Ingram. Do not expect that. Lower your expectations and you'll be happy with the results. That is how you get rid of the negativity. Now, with the wide receivers, as we know last season, the wide receiving core, yes, it was uber talented. Yes, they still are talented. I mean, you guys did lose Andre Holmes, but you bring in Cordero Patterson. Cordero Patterson obviously better than this kid, but Cordero Patterson, like the rest of the receiving core, his hands are not that great. Crabtree, he makes the most difficult catches, but he drops them easy straight up into his chest pad. I don't understand it. Amari Cooper, the same thing. He actually has good hands, but for some reason these guys just drop the most easy to catch passes, and this man Derek Carr has to be frustrated with it. Amari Cooper is an elite wide receiver, so I expect, as he's only 23 years old, guys, and as we know, once you hit that 24-25 age, you're going to be a much better player. So do not count him out of becoming a top 7 wide receiver. But also in the tight end, you guys upgraded your tight end position. Jared Cook, somebody who honestly did not get a ton of playing time for the Green Bay Packers, but as we know, the second he got some playing time, he made an immediate impact. The reason why I think bro, this man is not that smart. Okay, it takes him a bit long to learn the playbooks, and I think that's just because of a lack of motivation. Let's see if he actually becomes motivated with the Oakland Raiders and with their win now mentality, but hopefully he does, okay? I don't want to see this man Jared Cook just rot away on the bench yet again. So yeah, honestly, the receiving core looks better. The run game still looks like it'll remain exactly how it looked like last season, but Derek Carr coming back after that injury, he's going to be a much better player. I'm telling you that. I do not see him winning the MVP, but he's going to be a better player. Now, let's talk about the defensive side of the football. Now, we all know Khalil Mack is just a great player. We know, I at least think he's the #1 defensive end in all of football. And I think Joey Bosa is going to try competing with him. But right now, Khalil Mack is a solidified #1 edge rusher in the NFL. We also know that you guys also paid for an exceptional edge rusher in Bruce Irvin from the Seattle Seahawks. And he did great last season. The defensive line looks great. You guys added Eddie Vadados, the defensive tackle from UCLA. I don't know how well he'll do this season, but he is someone that actually meshes well with what they're trying to do on the defensive line. Let's be real here though. The linebacker core, it's a little etchy, alright? It's a little etchy right now. We all know you guys let go of Malcolm Smith. He went to the San Francisco 49ers, I believe, on a 5-year, $26.5 million deal. I'd say good, let him leave, okay? Because as we know, you guys had to pay the offensive line, and it's not exactly cheap by any means. Now, even though the linebacker core isn't that good, they're solid. They're not the worst in the league. And with Khalil Mack, Bruce Irvin, everybody just harassing the quarterback, they actually make the linebacker core look better. So honestly, the Raiders, what they're doing right now is actually working, but there's one thing that isn't. And you guys all know that the secondary, it really needs some help. Now on paper, this secondary looks phenomenal. I don't know why they sucked last year. You have John Smith, you also have David Amerson, two guys that going into the season, I thought, man, this secondary might be solid. They ended up flopping. Sean Smith just disappeared. He was the worst signing you guys had last season. Coming over from the Kansas City Chiefs, this guy was one of the more elite cornerbacks in the NFL due to his length and size, but after last season, now people are reconsidering whether he can even be the second best cornerback on the team. Hence why you guys drafted a cornerback I was high on coming out of the draft, Gareon Conley, whose stock fell because of some false accusations that came out on him. Now with the safeties, you guys have a nice pairing in safety. Keanu Neal needs to get better. Okay, last season was his rookie year, which is why I gave him a pass. But if he doesn't step it up, like as we know, okay, Landon Collins did terrible his first year, but then had a good season following. He needs to perform at a higher level or his job security is at risk. We might see Obi Melifonwu, who I'm not really that high on, but he can play multiple positions. He's a very versatile player. We might see him try and steal Keanu Neal's spot. Reggie Nelson also, I think Reggie Nelson's going to do great this year, alright? Don't count him out. Never count Reggie Nelson out. He's a guy I wanted on the Chargers, but we didn't want to pay for his safety, apparently. Now let's talk about Obi Melifonwu, okay? Your second round pick. Now, Obi, the thing I like about what he might be able to bring for the Oakland Raiders is that he can maybe play the outside linebacker spot for you guys in some plays. He might be a sub-package linebacker, and that's going to be interesting to watch. So, I mean, all in all, man, you guys have a solid team for this season. Now, this is a prediction I have for the season. Every single game, you guys are obviously seeing it on the screen. The games that, to me, are going to be the ones that dictate your season. Number 1, Week 1, Tennessee Titans. Now, I know the Titans aren't the better team. However, guys, any given Sunday. Okay, never forget that. I don't know why Packer fans were trying to tell me I was wrong because I didn't have their team going 16-0. Any given Sunday. As we know, back when you guys had like one win, you guys beat the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Kansas City Chiefs were a playoff team. So no, any given Sunday. The game everybody's obviously going to be watching is going to be the game of the bandwagons, okay? All the bandwagon fans are going to be watching this game very closely to determine what team they're going to hop on, whether it's being the Oakland Raiders or even the Dallas Cowboys. Now, right now I have the Dallas Cowboys losing this game, but guys, this game can go either way. That is going to be one of the more entertaining games of the year for you Raider fans in my opinion. But yeah, guys, right now I have this team going 11-5. It might be a downgrade from last year's 12-4 performance. But listen, injuries were very little last year. This year, who knows what might happen. We might see Amari Cooper sideline, and then he not being out there might cost you guys a game or two. Derek Carr, same thing. He might have a concussion. You guys ultimately lose a game. It's just me putting in a safety factor so I don't completely whiff on my prediction. So yeah, guys, I do have the Oakland Raiders making the playoffs. It's pretty obvious, okay? I mean, 11-5 is a playoff record. You guys really won't know the seeding I give you guys until around the last week of August. So yeah, just make sure to stay tuned for that. With that being said, you guys have been watching Slump TV. Make sure to leave a like, and most importantly, subscribe if you are new. Have a good one. Peace out.